don't grapple unless you know how to grapple. So the reason I'm making this clip is doing quite a bit of research recently, and a lot of people are telling, especially in women's self-defense classes, they seem to be saying that once you hit the ground, the attacker has their strength and weight and height advantage completely negated. So, yes, technically on the ground, if you don't know what you're doing, then your weight and your strength becomes irrelevant. If the other person does know what they're doing. So if you've never trained grappling a day in your life, don't think that you can just automatically get on the ground and beat the attacker. It doesn't work that way. So watching quite a few clips of this, and it's prompted me to make this clip. But the main thing recently that I saw was I unearthed an old article from a few years back of actress Roxanne Pallett, who in Britain is most famous for her several-year run on the soap Emmerdale, and then more recently her celebrity Big Brother Punchgate. And she was being taught self-defense by Fiddes. I think it's pronounced Fiddes. If it's not pronounced Fiddes, I do apologise. Now, the problem I have with this is he is a 7th Dan in Taekwondo. Congratulations. It takes a lot of hard work to get there. I'm not knocking him for that. What I am knocking is Taekwondo doesn't grapple. There are much better systems and styles for grappling. Now, being a big judo guy, in the pictures that accompany the article, Roxanne Pallett looks like she's doing a modified version of Osoto Gari, which is one of the few judo throws that really, really works very, very well, has a high success rate in legitimate self-defense. So rather than grabbing the sleeve or the wrist and clotheslining the head to the side as we take a move and sweep the foot, you both hands grab one arm and the leg still comes back and sweeps the foot and you take someone down. Now the problem is, you can see in the picture that Matt Fiddes, as he falls, doesn't know how to break fall. He's posting his arm, which is a good way of dislocating your elbow. And there's other stuff in the pictures that it just looks like, I don't know what you think you're doing, but you're not. Whatever it is you think you're accomplishing there, you're not. So you've got someone who doesn't know grappling teaching you how to grapple, which makes no sense to me. I would not go to 2-time silver Olympic judo medalist Neil Adams and ask him to teach me how to punch. I would not go to Katie Taylor and ask her to teach me how to grapple. So if you are with a 7th Dan in Taekwondo, get him to teach you how to throw kicks. Get him to teach you how to throw some punches. Yeah, you can find kicks and punches better elsewhere, but go to a grappling instructor to teach you how to grapple. Now, my other problem is Roxanne Pallett is quite small. She's only 5'1" maybe. She's quite light. With her not knowing how to grapple, her going to the ground with an attacker would be ridiculous because she doesn't have the skill set to do anything down there. Also in the pictures, I think Matt Fiddes is about 6'3", something like that. He looks to be a tall guy. He looks to be quite a well-built guy. So if we take an attack against a woman being sexually motivated, because otherwise there's no point to grapple with them. If you're going to be grabbing someone, it's going to be sexually motivated. If it's a materialistically motivated attack, it's give me your jewels, give me your possessions, give me your money, give me your phone, hand over, run away. If we're getting into the point where we're grappling with each other, it's because it's going to be sexually motivated. So why would you want to willingly go to the ground with somebody who is bigger, who is heavier, if you don't know what you're doing? Also, keeping in mind that there's a good chance that this attacker wants you on the ground. It's stupid. This is my problem with a lot of self-defense, is it takes away the actual psychology of what's going on. It doesn't look at the bigger picture. So yeah, I grab you by the wrist and bump, over you go. Fantastic. But now you're on the ground with me, and I know what I'm doing down here, and you don't. This is exactly where I wanted you. Yeah, it's like if I say I'm going to rape you, and so you decide to run away down a dead end where there's no lights and there's no people. You're exactly where I want you. So it's not that difficult in this day and age to find a grappling club, whether it be judo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, an MMA club, sambo, any of the amateur wrestling styles. Most places Most towns and cities these days have one of those on offer. So you need to get there and understand that these techniques need work. You can't just run through something once and go, okay, I've got it now, no problem. You need to step back and say, okay, well, why are we going to the ground? How am I better off on the ground with this guy than I would be moving away, yelling at him and maybe throwing a strike? So I've seen a lot of Matt Fiddes. You might know the name. He was Michael Jackson's bodyguard for a while. The majority of footage I've seen of Matt Fiddes being Michael Jackson's bodyguard, he's carrying his bag or holding his umbrella. Unfortunately, a lot of bodyguards for celebrities get turned into valets. I'm not calling Matt Fiddes' bodyguarding ability into question because I don't know anything about his bodyguarding ability, but that's where you might have seen him. He's quite tall, and in the pictures he's usually got like a long black ponytail. So this is the guy I'm talking about. Now, again, I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about his career as a bodyguard or his career as a taekwondo instructor. What I do know is how he's teaching this person in this given day self-defense, and I don't rate it. So, to give you a quick example of the size difference, I've got a friend called Tom Lyons. He's very, very thin. I've had meals that weigh more than him probably, but I think he's a two-stripe in blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. If you go to the ground with him and you don't know what you're doing, he is going to tie you up, fold you up, and send you home. However, it's not because, oh, you're on the ground now, so the weight difference doesn't play a factor. It's because he happens to be bloody good on the ground. That's why he works so well on the ground, because he trains it diligently and he loves it and he is very good at it. If you have never trained on the ground, don't think you're going to go to the ground with me and beat me. You won't. He can, because he's better than me on the ground. He's better than me on the ground because he trains Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu regularly. He's actually competing this Saturday in a sub-fighter pay-per-view. Check it out. But he would not teach somebody to take someone to the ground in a self-defense situation if that person was not then going to regularly train in taking people to the ground. And even if you do train grappling as an introductory class self-defense, which you can do, it should be about stopping the takedown. Or it should be, you're pinned under me, this is how you get out from under me. So everything I saw on the article and in the pictures that Matt Fiddes taught Roxanne Pallett, not good self-defense at all. You're teaching the pretty girl to fall down whilst pulling the attacker on top of her. That's not going to help anybody. There was an interview she did a little while after that where she said, everybody should do self-defense. I agree, everyone should take a couple of self-defense classes. So I feel so much more confident now about myself going out into the world knowing this. You really shouldn't. This feels like it's going to be another video of itself, but I disagree with what he was teaching her. I disagree with the way he was teaching it. I might be getting myself worked up over nothing here, and it could just be that it was a perfect photo opportunity between the self-defense instructor and his celebrity client. I'm sure that's not what it was at all. But again, if you don't know how to grapple, don't immediately try to grapple with somebody. Your best bet is to get away from the situation. You cannot run away from me if you're grabbing onto me. I also highly suggest that you look for the area you're in. I know it's a little bit difficult now because of the restrictions and everything with lockdown, but Judo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Sambo, any of the amateur wrestling styles really. Even if you just go once a week, you'll see how it's not as easy as it maybe looks on the videos, and it will give you a better understanding of why you don't want to be there in a legitimate self-defense situation. So again, if you don't know how to grapple, please don't try to grapple with somebody because you are asking for trouble if you do that. It's not going to go your way. Any comments, queries, questions, or suggestions, let me know. Pop them in the box. If you completely disagree with everything I've just said, let me know. If you happen to know Matt Fiddes personally or Roxanne Pallett personally, and they're the nicest people of all time, and they really do know what they do, let me know, because it's all about open conversation in an honest forum where we're not going to get censored for disagreeing with somebody. So, any comments at all, let me know. If you'd like me to go into further detail with anything I've gone over in this clip, let me know. And until next time, train hard, train smart, and stay safe.